Happy Thursday, Striver. It's Brandon Burchard, founder of Growth Day. I just appreciate you being part of this community, and I love that you make this daily fire something that you come back to just reset, to maybe find some motivation, get one more insight about personal development and about your life today. I just think that's it, isn't it? It's about continuing to get distinctions about our lives and keep listening to inspirational content or motivational content that just reminds us and re-energizes us to stay on our path. And today I'm going to take on a topic that I know I get asked about all the time. And I can't do enough YouTube videos about this. I can't do enough teaching about it in my courses. There's nothing I can ever do to solve this problem for everybody. It's overwhelm. This topic of overwhelm, oh my goodness. It's because, you know what, no matter how amazing you are, no matter how perfect you've got your life set up, overwhelm is just going to strike once in a while. It happens for people. It's like an emotional flooding of stress, of overuse, of too many things. And when it hits, it is not a good feeling. I know no matter what, as I'm teaching this daily fire to literally whatever, the tens of thousands of people who are going to listen to this thing here in Growth Day, I know that some of you are dealing with it right now. So I take it seriously. I think it is an important topic. And so I'm going to teach it maybe today in a way that takes on some very specific things that might help you, that we cover all the time. We talk a lot about in Growth Day. So I hope they'll be familiar to you. But if you are new to the community, I think this could be a game-changing time to bust open your journal or take some notes along with this daily fire. Let's talk about overwhelm. I really think that most overwhelm happens for 5 reasons. Number one, and this doesn't sound good if you're in it, so just hang out with me for a minute, okay? Let's keep big picture. Number one is a lot of people don't have horizon goals and weekly or daily plans. What do I mean by that? It means they're always just reacting. They're stuck in a reaction loop of life. And the more you're stuck reacting, kind of firefighting to every emergency that's thrown at you or every obligation or task or request that's thrown at you, the more that's your daily reality, the more that you tend to feel overwhelmed. And so we always start with the big picture, the vision. What are we after? What do we really want for our lives? If you're struggling with this, you can watch my What Should I Do With My Life training in the Learn section of the app. I might really serve you. I think it's important that we learn to set longer term goals and then set our weeks up to achieve them and set up our daily work rhythms to move towards them. When we feel like we are on path towards something on a consistent basis, it's less likely that A, we'll take on things that interfere with that would cause us overwhelm. And it's also more likely, B, that we will stay on track and feel motivated and fulfilled on our path. A lot of overwhelm happens when we're doing things that we don't feel fulfilled by, that are pushed upon us, versus things that we have chosen towards and marched towards consciously. Another thing that I see as issue is boundaries. No boundaries leads to more overwhelm. When you don't say no, and you knew you should have said no, that bites you on later, doesn't it? No boundaries means you don't share with others what your true needs are, what your true goals are. You let everybody just come in and take of your time, your energy, your efforts, your day. And at some point, you got to set some boundaries. You got to give yourself some space. You got to let other people know that you're not always completely available at every single hour for every single emergency or whim that they have. You can't enable them to constantly pull from you. Now, I know people always say, but I got toddlers, Brendan. And listen, there are times in life, no doubt, that that becomes a major challenge. Or Brendan, I'm in a startup mode and I'm just, I'm in that rocket phase where it's just crazy. I get it. I'm not here to say life needs to be perfect. I'm not here to say that there's not time windows of time where we're not compromised. But guess what? You had a horizon goal of those children. You had a horizon goal of that business. And so if you're dedicated to them, you've got to create some boundaries that support them and support you. And if you burn out by not setting any boundaries, you're not supporting the kids or the business or the life or the career or the team. And so setting boundaries is something that you do for yourself, but also so you don't overwhelm other people. Because what I found is people who don't set boundaries tend to also overwhelm others because they're always late. They're always attending to everyone. They're pleasing and placating. And what happens along that way is they end up ruining everybody else's schedules as well. And so getting organized, setting boundaries and goals, I know, again, I take it seriously. It doesn't sound good when you hear this, but that's part of personal development. Sometimes we hear things that challenge us and go, gosh, maybe I could get more clear about my quarterly, my monthly, and my weekly goals. And maybe if I did that, I'd set some blocks of time up to make sure I'm working towards those things. Maybe I'd make sure I set up some boundaries so that people knew when I was working or people knew what was important to me. Maybe I set up some boundaries where I say no more often and start setting my foot down about what's important to me. These things help. They're not easy, but they're required. Another thing I see with overwhelm is people just have no support. It's that entrepreneur who goes years and years and years and doesn't get an assistant. I'm guilty of that at some point in my career. It's that person who doesn't ask for help on a regular basis. I always tell people, you should be asking for help every Friday. Like, just reach out to people every Friday, every Monday. Just choose a day. When's there going to be an hour of time that you just reach out to people for help, for assistance, for mentorship, for advice? I think that that's important. I think people don't set up support in their household or on their teams that are sufficient for them to be focused, effective, happy. Not always easy when you're a single parent. Not always easy when you're the solopreneur. Not always easy when you feel like you're alone. But that's exactly why you need to get support. Because we don't have to strive alone. There are friends, there are families, there are support groups, there's people at your church, people at your YMCA, there is mentors in the community, there are friends, of friends, there are people online everywhere that can offer some support in something. But you got to ask, and you got to ask more often. And I always tell people, start at home. I think about the way that Denise supported me at the beginning of my career. Denise is my wife, for those who are new. She supported me at the very beginning of my career. And when she was advancing and building her own business and career, I supported her. To this day, we're constantly thinking about how we can support one another. And we had to teach each other what that meant. It means different things for her than it does to me. We had to overly communicate, be candid, set those boundaries. It's not something you're going to achieve overnight. These are things you work on. Your goals, your plans, your boundaries, the support that you need. I always say self-improvement is a way of life. You got to do these things regularly if you want real level ups and breakthroughs in life. Last big idea on overwhelm today. I just feel like people aren't taking pit stops. They're just burning out all day. And even if they have energy and they think they can do it, they're like, oh, Brent, I'm fine. I got so much energy. I'm so motivated. I'm crushing it, man. Don't worry about me. And then what happens is the weeks stack onto the weeks and the months stack onto the months. And then one day they're debilitated in their exhaustion. And the more you open the gate to exhaustion, the more overwhelm runs right through, baby. You've got to recognize that the more you exhaust yourself, the more, of course, you'll feel overwhelmed because your emotional wherewithal is depleted, your willpower is depleted, your conscientiousness and discipline is depleted when you are physically depleted or mentally depleted. So you got to recharge. And so I'm always telling you, make sure you take a break every hour. Make sure you get up, you move, you stretch, you close your eyes for a few minutes. Do your release meditation technique. Go for a walk. Have many pit stops throughout the day to recharge. And not only will you be more effective on that day, you'll be more effective over your lifetime. not only will you be more effective that day, you'll be more energized that day. And usually, the more energy that you have, the more you're able to deal with life's stressors and obstacles. I hope this session served you today. I know it's easy to be overwhelmed. And like I said, everyone fights with it. I fight with it. I've never heard someone in personal development with any credibility say that they got it all figured out. I struggle through it just like anyone else does. But I've always felt like if I'm overwhelmed, was I clear on my goals and my plan? What should I be doing this week? Do I have block time of which I was protecting so I feel like I'm advancing? Because you know what? When I feel like I'm advancing and someone asks for something, but I feel like I'm advancing, I don't feel bad if I do have to help them. But I also set up those boundaries and those support mechanisms and people to enable me to stay focused and to not take on too much. And then, of course, those regular pit stops throughout the day to recharge my mind, my body, my spirit. That stuff just helps. I'm sure you've got other ideas too. So maybe today in Growth Day, if you haven't done it before, hop into the community. Like if you're on desktop, just click the community tab, or if you're on your phone, click those little people up in the upper right of your home screen and do a post on Overwhelm. Like, how do you deal with overwhelm? Where do you think overwhelm comes from? What are the best things that you've ever found in working through it? Maybe you just share in the community and get inspired in the community. Or if you want to keep it personal, just go into your journal and capture some things you've learned about being overwhelmed in the past, how you overcame it, what you're overwhelmed with now, how you can prevent it more in the future. Every day, we are learning about ourselves and about how to gain greater self-awareness and self-mastery. Those things help us change our lives, but those things also give us social influence. I really believe when you stop being overwhelmed so much, you can be a better leader, a better parent, a better servant. And so this is a good area to reflect on today. Go into the community or open up your journal and capture some thoughts. Thank you for making personal development a priority today, for being here in the Growth Day app, for being part of this incredible, positive, growing community around the world of people who know that every day is a great day to grow together. All right, if you love this Daily Fire today, quick reminder, comment on it down below. What did you learn? What do you think? What do you have to share? This is about social learning in Growth Day. We learn from each other. We have that humility to learn from each other, but we also have that service leadership mindset where we want to share our life lessons with one another. So what have you learned about this topic? Put it in the comments down below and then get your growth streak.